hurt you by walking too close to the speakers. First off, I just have to say thank you. I can't believe looking around at this room, I'm just in awe of all of you guys. We have such an incredible community, and this event would not happen without an incredible group of people. To start this off, before I even introduce myself, I included a list at everybody's table. These are all of the amazing vendors and sponsors. I want to thank Starfire, I know Julian's back there, for letting us use our venue. And also their amazing food. Can we talk about the food? Then we have, I'm like slowly going through this, I can't read tonight. Trago, our amazing DJ. We love Vox, they're amazing DJs here, so we're happy to have them here as well. For rentals, we have YCBT Party Rentals and Event Rent, so thanks to them too. A lot of people have asked me how you pulled this off for such a low per head dollar amount, so all of these people contributed a lot. So we need to thank them a lot. Floral isn't here, but Mallory did the beautiful floral for us. We have, seriously, Andrea. Where's Andrea at? Foxland Creative. Can we just talk about these name tags? Like when we asked her if she could customly write names, we didn't expect this. Over and beyond. Amazing. Our cake, our cookies, our cupcakes, all are done by the amazing Amore Sweet Pray Ashley, who, by the way, was in a car accident on Friday and so selflessly managed to be here tonight and do all of this. So you're a rock star. We love you. We have our amazing tap truck with Jake, our bartender from Couple of Bars. We have Kiana Marie, our event photographer. Tara and Photo. Tara is our videographer, video for the event. And if you didn't get a chance, we had Annalise with Rendezvous. I always look at you, Rendezvous. Doing the amazing photo booth. So, just on the cash color bag, we had a bunch of sponsors. Inside of your guys' swag bag, you're going to see a lot of different items. There's a lot of discount codes. There's some free stuff. So I'll quickly go through those, but we want to thank Honeybook, Flowdesk, Show It. We love all of these. They're amazing vendors that are huge, and they're just happy that they were willing to contribute to this. We also have Denise Karras, who cute little pins that are in there. We love those. So special.
Big tape.
That's all
Big
Denise. We also have Digital Grace Design, who will be doing a giveaway tonight. We have Fox and Creative, who did the beautiful print inside of our swag bags. Redemption Market also donated a couple bags that we'll be giving away. If you don't know about Redemption, they are an amazing organization all about helping women and women trafficking. So love you guys. Amazing cause if you have a chance. There's business cards on that front table. Grab one on your way out. Worth checking out. Cultivate What Matters is also giving everybody a discount as well until the end of the month. If you haven't heard of them, go to cultivatewhatmatters.com. They have amazing stuff there as well. Was that a lot or what? I'm already like worn out. There's so many people to thank you guys. I don't even know how this list grew this big. Before I get to introducing what we are here for and our speakers, I did want to take a second. So this is all a part of the Rising Tide Honeybook Joint Road Trip. So we do have on here, it's a hashtag. It is hashtag RTS Roadtrip PHX. If you hashtag this, hint, 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 we have a lot of giveaways, guys, like a lot. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I believe around like 23 giveaways, which means that like a quarter to a third of you will be getting a really cool prize. So, if you post on social, we are literally picking on this hashtag. So use this hashtag if you've already posted, add it in the comments, we'll pull it up at the end, and we'll be picking randomly for giveaways. With that being said, I'm so glad you guys are all here. I'm not going to make you listen to my voice a ton, but I did want to highlight why we're here. So the Rising Tide Society is a community of small business owners and creative entrepreneurs. That's why everyone asks me the most common question is, I'm not a wedding photographer. I'm not in the wedding industry. This is not for wedding photographers or wedding industry folks. It is for everyone, including that, but it is not limited. So that's why I'm so glad to see such a diverse group here today, because that's really what this is all about. With Rising Tide, we actually gather in over 400 cities around the world, not just the US, around the world, so internationally, in the spirit of community over competition. As a part of the Honeybook family, together we are on a mission to empower the creative economy to rise together by doing what we love. And that is really what this is about. A lot of people ask what Honeybook is, what Rising Tide is. It's a big family. I have been so embraced by this family. I love Honeybook. I use it for my own client management system. It's amazing. There's a code in there, and we are giving away one per year. So, hint, hint, hashtag. But it's been great. This family has started with some people who had a really small vision to just support their community, and now it led into 400 cities and little chapters. So with that being said, before I hand it off to someone else, I want to first acknowledge where our chapters are, because I know a lot of you didn't know what Tuesdays Together or Rising Tide was before tonight. We actually have 4 local chapters in the Phoenix area. So starting with one of our originals in the East Valley, we have our leaders, if I can get you girls to stand up. We have Susie, go to their meetings. This mega meetup, obviously with food and stuff we charge a ticket, but these are monthly meetups that you can attend for free, you guys. Unlimited education, amazing perks. I highly recommend you checking it out at least once because then you'll become a lifer. It's amazing. In addition to that, we have a West Valley group, and our West Valley group is led by Miss Ryan and Paige. And we have a Central Phoenix group that is run by Taryn and Rochelle, our co-leaders. And finally, right now I'm in Scottsdale, and it's still just me. I'm looking for chairs and co-leaders, so if anyone is interested in stepping up.
Also use the hashtag.
We're good. So, with that being said, I already mentioned to you guys, we are so thankful that you're here. We're so grateful to have some amazing speakers lined up, including Natalie Frank, all the way from Maryland, which she's been living out of a car for the last few weeks. So I don't even know if I can say she's all the way from Maryland because she came from San Francisco and then New Mexico, and she's here. But our first speaker is actually somebody local, very dear to our heart, and an amazing contributor to this community, and that is Tara Nicole. She is a Phoenix-based portrait and wedding photographer and videographer, and also the co-leader for the Central Phoenix Tuesdays Together. She's a wife, a mother of 2 crazy little girls, and she loves a good old fashioned. So I'm so excited to bring Tara up here to get us started.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, guys, thanks for coming tonight. How are y'all doing? All right, so obviously my name is Tara, and I am, yes, a wife, a mother of 2 daughters, hence why I'm tired all the time, and I'm a co-leader of the Central Phoenix chapter. So where's my Central Phoenix people? Oh, that was weak, guys. All right, so yes, I currently live in Central Phoenix. And as if having 2 kids isn't enough work, I also run a business. I'm a glutton for punishment. So I have a portrait and wedding photography and videography business. And this is actually my busiest year ever. I'm super excited about. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but it's my busiest year. And I'm super grateful for all the vendors and the clients. Actually, I have a former client right here, Miss Whitney. Thank you for coming. I'm so grateful for them for continuing to help me succeed and make my business grow. But I remember when my business first started. You probably remember yours, or maybe you're in the midst of it right now. I was looking for that one tip, that one trick, that secret to help my business grow, to be successful. I wanted to know what it was. Guess what? I found it. I figured out what that secret is. I know what that trick is. And now here I am 4 years later, and I'm watching other new businesses grow, and they're doing the same thing I did 4 years ago. They're looking for that secret. They're wanting to know that tip. How do I make my business grow? How do I succeed? What do I do? So, what's the secret, you ask? how do I make my business successful? How do I get rich? How do I be the next big thing? So, you all have your pens and notebooks tonight, right? You're looking at me like, oh, okay. Okay, grab something, grab your friend's hand, whatever you need to. I'm going to tell you that secret that I learned, okay? So, got a hand? All right. My secret to success has been one word, ethics. That's it. One word, ethics. Simple, plain, no get-rich-quick scheme, no algorithm hacks, just plain old-fashioned ethics. So ethics are defined as a set of guiding principles or guiding philosophy or moral principles. And every discipline has something like this called a code of ethics. Some of you are probably familiar with that. So as in my master's program, I had to learn the counseling code of ethics. And I lived and died by that code of ethics. It governed everything I did, from the way that I interacted with my clients in sessions to how I handled myself outside of sessions. And I was going to live and die by that, and I did for some time, and then I became a business owner. No one has to rule me now. I get to do whatever I want, except for the IRS. Follow their rules, okay? Yeah, unfortunately. So I'm in a position now where I get to do what I want. I tell myself what to do. I can run a business however I want. No one can tell me I can't drink and drive, right? Shouldn't do that anyways, but I have that choice. So I decided early on in my business that I was going to run it a particular way. I was going to put people first and my bottom line last. It's probably not a good business strategy, but it's what I did. And it's worked for me. So I was going to make a sort of code of ethics for myself that was going to, I'm a mom, so I'm sorry. It was going to ensure that I always conducted myself and my business in a way that reflected who I am as a person. And because, let's face it, sometimes our clients are going to book us or choose us before they know what our product or service is, simply because of who we are and what we do and who we stand for. So it was because of this that I decided I was going to run my business based on the principles of honesty and integrity. So these two principles are what I live my life by. My personal life, my business life, that's what I do. And if you know me outside of here, I would hope that you see that reflected in my life. And it's because of those two principles that my business is thriving. I'm doing well, and I swear it's because of that. But what do they look like in a more practical way? You're probably thinking, how does honesty and integrity make you money? Okay, because that's really what we're all here for. We got bills to pay, right? So let's look at honesty first. Seems like such an obvious life principle, right? You would think so. And yet when you look at any code of ethics, anywhere, there's always a clause on honesty. Oh, help me out, guys. Honesty. Right, there's always a clause on honesty. And why is that? Honestly, because honesty is hard. We as people love to cover up the truth and hide who we really are. We wear makeup to hide our flaws and our tiredness. We swipe our credit cards to try and keep up with the people next to us. We smile on our Instagram to show off our perfect life. Being honest means we are vulnerable. And let's be honest, as a business owner, I don't want my clients to know that I can't nail that glow stick exit, true story. Or that I'm going to be late delivering their wedding gallery. I don't want them to know that. But making excuses for my tardiness only leaves a bad taste in my client's mouth. Pretending that I can do something I can't only is going to expose me as a fraud. So, because of that, I have now even based my social media, my business profile. And you probably, if you know me at all, you know I have 2 kids. I'm very open about that. But I want my clients to know why I might be late getting them a gallery. I don't want to lie to them about that. So I tell them why. I'm a mom, and so there's going to be times where my kids come first. And I'm not going to pretend that, I sit at my computer all day and I edit all day. That doesn't ever happen. And then I'm waiting for their emails all day long. That's just not realistic. And I need them to know that about me up front. So there have been a few times where I have been late on delivering a gallery, or I haven't been able to do a glow stick exit. That was just Saturday. I had to tell them, guys, I can't do it. I don't know how to do what it is you want me to do. They wanted some light painting. Something I needed to learn, but they were grateful that I was honest about it, and we came up with a different plan. And it's because of that honesty that these very clients are coming back to me. I'm getting repeat clients because of this, because they know they can trust me and that I'm going to tell the truth and I'm going to be honest with them. And then they refer their friends and their friends and their friends. And so that right there is the golden ticket to my business surviving. It's repeat clients because they know they can trust me in my word and deed. So if honesty brings people back to our business, then what's the point of integrity? That's what brings them to us in the first place. If people know that they can trust us, they are going to come to us because they know then that we are consistent in our word and deed. We're going to treat them with respect. Because people are always, always watching us. Right? We said we don't want to be vulnerable. We like to hide who we really are. But people are always watching. You all have Instagram, right? Okay? Somebody's watching you. They're seeing how you handle stress. They're seeing how you handle adversity. They're seeing how you treat your fellow vendors, your fellow clients, and one another in this room. They're watching. And so integrity is conducting ourselves respectfully with our fellow peers, with our vendors, with our clients. It's keeping our word, it's fulfilling our obligations, it's working hard. So think right now about the person you respect the most. What is it about that person that you respect? More often than not, there's something in them that screams integrity. And it requires and it demands our attention and our admiration because it's such a rare quality to find. But when your clients know that they can trust you and that you'll do what you say you will do, they're going to choose you over the next person, over the next business, over the next product, because you're the safer investment long term, because they know what they're going to get from you. This is a really quick talk, so I'm sorry if I disappointed you. All right, I didn't give you the 5 top hacks to making your Instagram grow, or how to make it big in your industry. But what I did give you is the secret to long-term sustainability. And that's what being successful is. Nothing saddens me more in my industry than watching my peers lie about who they are or what they can do or treat their clients or our vendors. I mean, we have amazing vendors tonight, don't we? I mean, come on, we have alcohol on tap back there. But they're not a commodity to be discarded. So if I had the ability to make a universal code of ethics for photographers or florists or whatever your industry is in here, I would, but I can't. But that doesn't mean you can't. So I encourage you to sit down and actually think through, what do I value? How do I want my business to run day by day? And when I make it big, when I'm successful, or maybe you are now, how am I going to treat those that help me get there? So while having a code of ethics is not the sexiest business tip ever, I will argue that it's truly the key to a lasting business and what is going to make you a long-term successful business owner. I wish you all the best of luck and thanks for coming tonight.
I am very impressed, Tara, when we asked her to do this talk. I'm even more impressed that you rocked that, Tara. And it's so true. Honesty and integrity is all we have. So take that with you and define it based on yourself. So everyone has a different idea of what honesty and integrity is. That doesn't mean don't lie because you can be quickly to lie. But what she said was huge. So thank you, Tara. I needed that today too. Our next speaker is another one of our insanely amazing leaders here. She is an avid collector of passport stamps. She serves her creative community as a volunteer. Somali. You have to feel like a hard word. And so if you need wine, I'm guessing that means if you need wine advice, go talk to her, because that's like my only time I know how to use that word. She also is the West Valley Tuesdays Together co-leader. Ancient legends say she stole her laugh from a heart of a volcano, her smile from a butterfly farm, and her love of appetizers from a TGI Fridays. She also happens to be a wedding photographer, which, by the way, side note, several years ago, her and I met at the Show It United conference for the first time. But I knew there's another girl named Ryan in this city, and she's a photographer, and I love that even more. And it's even better that she's so tiny that because she's my tripod when I need it. She has 10 years of experience operating her business in Phoenix while raising a husband and hanging out with her amazing daughter. So without further ado, I'm very honored and excited and can't wait to hear from Ryan and Nicole. Ryan, please.
Smooth up until that moment when I put the microphone up to my mouth and it wasn't on. So I'm here to talk to you guys, like based on my bio, I'm sure. You can tell I'm a very, very serious person. I'm here to talk to you guys about something incredibly serious. Lizzo. Alright, I feel like some of you guys might know of her. Todd, remember? Dance floor? The gala at United? He and I, we knew all the words. We knew all the words. So I found myself wanting to figure out, like, what makes Lizzo so freaking amazing, right? Like, she's not just a trend right now, because, like, if you follow her Instagram, or if you know anything about her, she's somebody who's been in her industry for years, and just now is, like, the popular person. But what makes her special? So I sat back and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should listen to more of her music and drink more wine. It turns out that I came up with two things. I was probably slightly inebriated, so stick with me. The first thing, self-confidence. She oozes it. She has it in spades, right? For a woman who might have insecurities, she doesn't need to put those out there. Like, I'm sure she has them, but what she wants to put out to the world is the things that she crushes it at. And so when I'm listening to a Lizzo song, I might get in a little bit of a goddess mode, and sometimes I lose control, and I might tell my husband, I might put him on notice that if he slips up, Also, when it really gets out of control, I tell him that I'll never, ever, ever be his side chick. And he's like, we're married. And I'm like, whatever. We're married. So, for me, like, that feeling that I get when I listen to her, I wanted to figure out, like, what it was. And I feel like what she's doing is giving me the permission to be Rizzo. So, this is Rizzo. Thank you. She likes to wear leopard print and a red lip on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Also, I feel like she is unapologetic about what she is good at. And so, it turns out, I just took a DNA test. And I'm 100% that bitch at making my clients feel relaxed and comfortable in front of my camera through my humor. Also, on a side note, I can rock a step stool, because I don't know if you know. Here we go. This is my real height. I can rock a step stool on a wedding day like no other. The fact that she just feels so amazing about herself is just, it's this feeling that's contagious. So I want to ask, is there anybody out there who's ready to take a DNA test? All right, Ashley, take that DNA test. Let me know. What are you 100%?
Oh, God.
Oh, she can broadcast. I don't even know why.
I'm 100% confident that I'm really good at designing a space.
There you go, girl. I love it. Right? I can also tell you that I'm really good at sending memes to people in my personal life. If there was a way to make that into a career, I would, like if you want to pull me to the side and explain how that could happen. But Lizzo, she just inspires me and gives me the confidence that I can be whoever I need to be.
in my personal life and my professional life. And so now I want to talk to you about the second part of Lizzo. So I happened to notice, I follow her on Instagram like a crazy person, and I noticed that she is not only confident, but she uses that confidence to share with others and cheer other people on. Like, think about the words to her songs. They're not just about her and how great she is, right? She's telling you, you are great. You are amazing. And so it occurred to me that it's hard when you're not feeling confident about yourself. It's hard to cheer other people on. Has anybody ever been there where we're like, I would love to cheer somebody on right now, but I can't even cheer myself. Like, I can barely get out of these yoga pants. And that's not my dress yoga pants, like, for when I'm feeling good. But I feel like she uses that authentic energy to cheer other people on. She authentically wants us to be who we are. We don't need to be little Lizzos. We need to be us. And it turns out that when you are in your zone of confidence, not your zone of comfort, right? Because we have our comfort zones. But when you are in your confident zone, you light up the world. You are on fire. What better idea than to use your flame to help warm somebody else, right? Use that. When you're feeling 100%, put it out there. But then also, even if it's in DMs, right? Let other people know that you see them. All of you that showed up today, we see you. And we appreciate that you're here, and we are excited to see you here, and we are excited to talk to you and get to know you. And if there's local chapters that you can come to, especially in March, all my co-leaders, right? We're hoping that March, we get this great turnout too, after showing you guys like how amazing we are. No, there won't be free food and drink, but anyway, I want to leave you guys with just one final thought, which is Lizzo has given me this inspiration to be who I truly am, to cheer others on, and to enjoy my unique journey. And I hope that there's a little bit of Lizzo in each one of you.
Because I actually can sing and rap when it comes on. So, Ryan, thank you for that. And I know one of the big key takeaways that I already love was the zone of confidence versus comfort. We need to think that way. Be confident, own who you are. And I'm not going to drag on anymore with my feedback, but that was amazing. Thank you, Ryan. This next speaker, we're going to change it up a little because we know there's a lot of females in here, but this is a perfect way to tell you guys, despite the females in the room, look around, there are guys. It's not just a woman place either, so we're very welcoming to the opposite sex, just so you know. So if you have a guy friend who's a creative entrepreneur or a small business owner, bring them, encourage them to come with you. We would love to have more guys around. With that being said, when a photographer friend needed help building a website in 2005, Todd immediately jumped to action. Always wanting to help and excited to crack his knuckles writing some code, he never imagined it would turn into a business. Anyone around him might have guessed otherwise. Before Todd even set his 18-year-old foot into a computer science class at ASU, love you more, go Sun Devils, he had already sharpened his entrepreneurial, I can't say that, anyone want to say that for me? Entrepreneurial, it's been a long day, skills by creating 2 successful businesses. With his pioneering spirit, not to mention a supportive and trusting wife, Todd co-founded Show It with the intention of helping photographers bridge the gap between tech and creativity. On that note, Show It is not just for photographers. You want a website? Check it out. It's amazing. I speak from experience. Woo! Over a decade later, 4 stunning sons, 31 employees, and countless show tours later, and how many Uniteds? If you haven't been, you need to go. That gap is closing more and more. If you haven't checked out Show It, you need to. If you haven't been to United and you're a photographer, you need to go. And I can't thank him enough to bring our next amazing speaker up, Todd.
Oh man, it's great to be here. There are so many good familiar faces around here. So some of you might have heard this story, but how many of you guys have been to the Rocky Mountains, like to the Vail area, scene, like up in Colorado? Well, my family, we're RVers. So we were coming back to Arizona down through Colorado. We stopped right there. Well, we were looking for a campground. And we found out in the summertime you can't really find a campground in Colorado unless you make a reservation. So we found that one resort that all RVers fall back to, which is Walmart. So we ended up in a Walmart parking lot in one of the most beautiful parts of the country. So here we are spending the night there, and it was weird to be like, here's the Walmart sign and the mountains are amazing. But we survived there. We head out in the morning, and as we're heading out, you just see these mountains rising up. The sky is blue with just amazing white clouds, and the stream is like coming along this windy road, and my wife's like, we need to get our kids up here. They spend a lot of the time in the back of the RV reading books and doing whatever else, and she's like, we need to get them up to the front. So she goes back there and says, hey, come on kids, let's get back. And she pulls back the curtain of the bunks, and my oldest son wasn't there. And she had one of those Home Alone moments. Kevin! No, it's actually Keepers, my son's name. He was not on the RV. And here we are heading out into Colorado, and we realize, oh no, he went to use the resort amenities, and now we're on the road heading out. He didn't have a phone or anything else, and we're just like, oh no, we are out, what are we gonna do? So at that moment, we were looking around, and now this beautiful country is a terror because there is no U-turns anywhere in sight. And so we're heading up, and my wife gets a call from a Colorado number, and she's like, I'm answering this one. And sure enough, it's a manager at Walmart, and she's like, hey, I have a keeper here who says you might have left him here. At that moment for me, it was like, oh, just tell him he got his survival merit badge, he's gonna be a great scout. He's fine, he's totally fine. This is what we prepared him for, So anyway, we turned around, we got back to Walmart, we picked him up, everything is fine. We'll probably have to put a little extra investment in his therapy bills for the future. Otherwise, it's really great. Well, the reason I tell you that story is that sometimes I feel like as creative business owners, I'll be talking to you and I'll say like, oh, let me see your website. And you're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to show you that. And I'm like, well, what happened? It's like, well, I did it a couple of years ago and then just left it behind, And I feel like there's those moments in all of us that we say, oh, I worked on that, but then I just left it behind. So I just want to take a couple minutes and, as Ryan shared with us, how my company works with websites. It's something that I'm super passionate about. So we get to see lots of websites. I really care about that. I think it's really impactful for your business. And there's a big stat that I would say why that's important for your business. So let me pull that up here just to make sure I can say this right. But so this stat came from one of those studies, but they said 75% of consumers admit to making judgments on a company's credibility just based on their website. Okay? So you can have the greatest social media personality, all that, but your credibility is going to be outlined when someone looks at your website. The second thing is that 57% of internet users will say that they won't recommend a business with a poorly designed mobile website. No matter how great your social media is and how great all that stuff is, if someone pulls up your website and they're thinking about recommending it to a friend, there's a majority that won't recommend you if they don't feel confident about the site that you have. because it looks bad on them. So I think it's super important that you have that as part of your business. And part of that you know that a website is working for you if it's doing a couple things. It's pretty easy to be a business card, and I'd say that's the base of what a website can be. You know, it has like your email address and your phone number. It lets you get a hold of somebody. But that's a business card, right? I would hope that you aspire to something more with what you're doing with your web presence and taking advantage of the power of the internet. So I'm going to take 3 concepts, try to break them down real quick. We only have a few minutes, so I'm going to try to run through those. The first, so these 3 things are: how are you attracting, how are you engaging on your site, and then how are you following up? Okay, so if you look at your site through the lens of that, how do you attract, how do you engage, and then how do you follow up? Okay, that's what you're looking at when you think about your website. A business card doesn't do all those things. So that's why we're going to say, what does it look like to attract? Now, you probably have direct referrals, and that's great. Okay, that's going to happen no matter what when you have friends that say, hey, you got to check this person out. That's great. But what the power of the internet is that you can have people find you that you maybe didn't know. It's part of that like social media thing, people that might have not been in your circles. So as we look at that, and you're saying, okay, how do I attract people that maybe wouldn't have known me already? I think the key there is to say, what is it on your site that is going to attract somebody? Okay? So do you know what it is that's going to take someone who doesn't know you and get attracted to you? Is there content on your site that's actually going to do that? Okay, if you look at that kind of concept and you think about, people think SEO or search engine optimization is this confusing thing, but I want to break that down to just with a simple question of saying, what exactly is it that Google is doing? The purpose of Google is to answer questions. Okay, so all Google is trying to do is answer a question for somebody who asks that question. Okay, and so the purpose of search engine optimization is to say, I have an answer to a question that somebody is asking. Okay, one of those studies, or not one of those things, one of those things that if you're wondering like behind the hood of all that, somebody actually asked on Twitter, hey, what's the most important factor for your search engine optimization to rank highest on the first page? And one of the engineers who leads the search engine product at Google said, one-word tweet, awesomeness. Okay? Awesomeness. It's like that aha moment that like I try all these things with tags and figuring this out and that out. But really what Google wants to do is connect people with awesome things. So if you're going to attract them, you have to be creating content that actually attracts. Okay, so when you think about that in your own businesses, think about what are the questions that someone might ask for what you solve or what you answer. And that might be something about something local. If you're creating articles or posts, make them about your hometown, your thing, your venues, anything that would be a local question to what something might ask. And just think about yourself and the questions you might ask. So that's the first part, is thinking about how do you attract someone to your website. The next part of that is how do you engage? So once you've attracted someone to show up on your website, the next thing you need to do is to engage them. Now, as you think about that, that might be some of those things about the visual imagery and some of those things, but here's the key. I've seen so many websites, and they don't answer 3 basic questions for us. And those questions are, what do you do? Where do you do it? And who are you? Okay? You'd think that those are easy questions to answer, but I swung around and thought, where is this person located? Are they near me, far away from me, in a different state? You know, like, that should be really prominent. Now, what do you do? Make that super clear. One of the first things you say on your website. Someone needs to know when you engage them, you're going to know, what do you do? So make sure that they're not burning up, like as Donald Miller was saying, StoryBrand. Don't burn a lot of calories to figure out what it is that you do. So make sure that that's super clear on your site. The second thing is, and I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but the stats say 70% of small businesses don't have this. So this is why I think it's important, is you need to have a call to action, and very clear calls to action. When you think about a business card, there isn't really a lot of calls to action on it. It's just information, okay? A call to action says, hey, do something. Join my email list. Contact me. Whatever it is, whatever you want to lead them to, in order to engage them, you need to bring out calls to action. Make them very clear and concise of what it is that you want them to do when they're on your website. Okay, so now that you've attracted a client, you've engaged them, what happens next? What happens next on your site, right? This is where I think it's super important that we talk about this idea of follow-up. And the reason I think it's really important is because the stats will say that 44% of small businesses will give up on a lead after one contact. Okay? 44% of people will like email back once and say, hey, this is what I offer, and then crickets, and then nothing. Okay? The stats will also want to say that less than 10% of small businesses make more than 3 contacts. Okay, so they give up after 3 tries. Okay? Now, if you look at the other side of that equation, you'll see that 80% of sales happen between 5 and 12 contacts. Okay? So if you do the math on that, you're seeing 90% of people are missing out on where 80% of the businesses happen, is when you've contacted someone multiple times. You say, I don't want to email people a lot, I don't want to do this and do that. Okay, well then, here's the thing, is you need to be able to create into your website and into your flow systems for automated contacts, systems that make sure that you don't just give up after one try when you get that lead that comes in. Okay, so that's why we love Honeybook. We love the idea that if someone submits a form that you can create an automated sequence. We love things like Flowdesk, where you can create a subscriber who then you give them multiple contacts one after the other, something like that. Okay, and then another thing that I would super encourage, even if you hate advertising, put a Facebook pixel on your website and then just retarget people. Put yourself back in their feed, because how many times have you visited a website and then you had to close, or like something came up, or the kids were yelling, or something like that, and then you forgot about whatever it was that you're working on. Retargeting is so important because it says, hey, someone came to my website, I'm going to put this little ad in here. You could spend as little as $20 a month on just retargeting, and it's so helpful for getting something back into someone's feed and reminding them, oh, you visited that site. Oh, I want to see it again. Okay, so when I talk about follow-up, I'm saying have systems in place that say, how do I follow up with someone once they came to my website through those automated tools? So those are kind of those 3 areas that I would say, if you're looking at the lens of your website, move it from being a business card to something that's actually working for you. Okay? Now, that's your website, and I would say that that's a really important part of what your business is. But the thing that I would want to leave you with is to say this. If you try to go your business by yourself, you're going to find that you're going to hit lots of hurdles, lots of things that's going to get tough. So that's where I would say being in a community like this is probably the number one thing that you can do. So when you fall into those hard times, about things that make it hard in your business, that you have people that help you out, that pull you up and help you out along your way. Okay, that's why we created that Conference United. That's why we love supporting the Rising Tide Society. But I would say make sure, as you're thinking about your website, it's not the only silver bullet to your business. Make sure that you have people that are going to help you out with that. We'd love to join you with that and continue to encourage you on your business journey as well. So.
So this is my turn to talk to you guys. So, Todd, thank you. Seriously. Love him on so many different levels. I already mentioned the Show It website, the United Conference. He's like a man of wisdom, and he's a dear friend. That's the thing, too. He's a friend to everyone. So if you haven't met him, go meet him. He has a warm hug ready for you. He's even better than Olaf. He doesn't know, but he likes warm hugs. So, June 12th, 2014. It was a day that felt like any other ordinary day. I woke up that morning, got out of bed. It was my day off of work. I put on some yoga pants, had no makeup on, and I went to a Pilates class. I ended up pulling into the parking lot of the Pilates studio, and while I was there, a few minutes early, what we all do, reviewing through social media, seeing what happened in the world, you know, our personal news of this generation. And I randomly came across one of my patients at the time. I was a former cancer nurse, and I found a post about one of my former cancer patients who was going via ambulance to the hospital. A lot of you might think, oh gosh, what happened? Me as a cancer nurse, this is actually something that happened a lot, so you don't immediately jump to any bad conclusion. He probably has a fever, he might have had some sort of virus, they're just being precautionary, taking him in to make sure he's safe. So I kind of just shrug it off. I go into my Pilates class, and as I get out of my Pilates class, my phone rings. I pick up that call, and still to this day, almost 6 years later, I can still remember it so vividly. It was my nurse manager from my unit calling me to tell me that Jet, one of my primary patients, the one who I had seen being rushed to the ambulance at the age of 13, had just passed away in the emergency room. And when the social worker asked what they wanted them to do, what we could do to help the family, if there was anyone they could call, of all the people in the world, his parents said, can you please call and let Ryan know? At that moment, as I mentioned, no makeup, yoga pants, flip-flop sandals, didn't have a concern with what I was wearing, what I was doing, hauled butt as fast as I could, and I got to that emergency room. I can still remember the feeling as I stepped foot in those doors, and as I walked through the entrance, and the very first person I saw was Jet's dad, Dwayne. Dwayne's that kind of guy that kind of reminds you of a football player but never played football, but this is like a big guy. I have to put that into perspective because the moment he made eye contact with me, he ran down the hall, he wrapped his arms around me, and he began to sob in my shoulder. I thought this was a lot. I'm sorry guys, this is a hard thing. I actually was telling him, I don't think I've really told these stories in front of this many people yet. I took a lot of pride that I was a primary nurse. I took a lot of pride and felt very honored that he even asked me to be at the hospital after his son just died. Not my family, just a patient I took care of. But what took it even further is he asked me if I would perform the postmortem care on his son. Because he knew how much I loved his son, he knew how much I cared for his son, and they wanted somebody who loved and that they trusted to handle those final moments of their 13-year-old son's life. So I walked in that moment and I did everything. I pulled out his central line, he had a port in his chest, I pulled out his Foley, I pulled out all the stickers from the EKG machines, everything else you see connected to a person in the emergency room or during life-saving measures where they're literally hooked up to tubes and lines. And at the end of it, something inside of me said, I need to give something back to Jed. And so I called the music therapist, and myself, one other nurse, and the music therapist, after we had him all ready, had covered him with a blanket, we sang Taylor Swift, I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In. I would sing it now, but my voice is not very good. But that was something that reminded me of him. I used to walk into the room and call him Trouble, and one day he started singing Taylor Swift to me, and it's a memory I'll take forever. During that time, I had for a few years as a cancer nurse, I'd been in the industry for almost a decade. I had struggled with feeling competent and feeling good enough. I felt like I was constantly drowning, constantly being overwhelmed, and I couldn't pinpoint why. I was a really good nurse. I saved a lot of lives, and that's really humbling and hard to say, and like believe in yourself to say that. Like, I literally saved lives. Like, there were so many times that if I wouldn't have caught one little thing, my patient would have died. And that was like this whole other chapter in my life, but one thing I realized that day that Jet died was that I now understood why I felt so incompetent and so useless. And that's because I was experiencing something bigger that was out of my control, and it's this idea in the medical world that they call as compassion fatigue. So with compassion fatigue, it's a series of events that sometimes can be traumatic. It's a medical definition, so it's not really defined in the entrepreneur world yet. But it's about when something traumatic happens in your life, and it affects how you handle things. And there are certain symptoms that you can recognize in certain behaviors, and one of the biggest risks of developing compassion fatigue is not taking care of yourself. As a nurse, I put my patients first. I did my job the best I could. I left crying every single morning. I went to more funerals for kids under the age of 10 than I ever thought I would. I lost 17 children in 1 year, and I pumped a 3-year-old who was on his deathbed with more medications that I literally think could tranquilize a horse, and this is a 3-year-old child. But what I realized is that my symptoms of burnout and not feeling competent, it was all because I wasn't taking care of me and who I was inside and my heart. I wasn't setting boundaries. I was pressuring myself to overexcel as this nurse. And what does this have to do with being a business owner? You probably are like, okay, she's a cancer nurse. I get it all the time, like I don't know how you do it, it's so hard. But it taught me a lesson that I didn't realize I would hold on to for the rest of my life and be able to translate into my entrepreneur career as a photographer. Being a photographer this last year, one thing I haven't told anybody, maybe like my sister and a couple family members, December of 2018, I was laid off of my corporate job. I had already done full-time photography for 7 years. I was ashamed and I was embarrassed because I knew I was good at this job, so why did I lose my job? Because I didn't really understand the corporate world and politics and layoffs, that you shouldn't take it personal, it's just part of business, part of life. But I spent the last year really breaking myself down. And the way I've seen it is that I almost had to completely break before I could become whole again. And through that transition and through that breaking, and through my past experience with this compassion fatigue, I slowly realized that me trying to be a full-time photographer, it's great, but it doesn't mean it has to be for everyone. I learned that the more I put into my business, the less I actually was putting boundaries and taking care of myself. Because the hustle is real. I give credit to everybody in this room because the hustle is real. Am I right? Anybody want to cry? Does anybody want to literally curl up and cry some days, or like throw something at your computer? And I don't care if it's photography or baking, or if you do any kind of work in fields or coaching or any kind of small business, it is hard. Like social media in itself is hard. I hate it, literally. Hate social media. If anybody want a client, I will gladly hire you to take over my social media. But what I learned was that I was starting to take clients this last year that weren't feeding my soul, that weren't fueling my passion for photography. And so I decided that maybe I want a part-time day job. Maybe I want that stability, but I also want the ability to control my own life with photography and be able to say no. I don't want to just do things to do them. I don't want my passion to become a job. I don't want to hate it. I want it to be something that stimulates my creativity and fuels me and makes me on fire, to where I walk into those weddings and I'm so pumped. And I noticed that the way I took care of patients was impacted because I wasn't taking care of myself. And as a photographer alone, without my day job, I'm noticing that I'm losing very slowly. It hasn't happened yet. And I have to be careful because I actually have a bride and groom here as well. And I love them. They were not one that I said no, or I said yes to and regret. I love them. They were like literally the best thing that happened to me this year, because the love that they poured out on me reminded me why it's so important to set boundaries as a photographer. So all of this happened, and it led me to 3 key things that I want to just emphasize tonight with you guys. This idea of compassion fatigue, I could literally talk for hours on recognizing the symptoms, how to handle it, how to control it, how to cure from it. But there were 3 things that if I can leave you right now in an effort to prevent getting to that breaking point, they are 1, life balance and self-care. When you start saying yes, and deep down you really want to say no, that feeling of resentment builds and builds and builds and builds. Until you wake up one morning and the last thing you say is, I really don't want to go to work today. And you think about a year ago, I loved shooting weddings, I loved doing photo shoots. But now, I'm just exhausted because I just keep going and I'm doing things I'm not passionate about. And so I'm basically burning myself out and losing passion for certain clients because of that. The second thing is really understanding what success is. I know a lot of people talk about knowing your why. But for me, defining success is not a measurable thing. Defining success is a feeling. Why are you doing something? And when it stops feeling like success to you, quit. I know Natalie and I talked about this, and saying just because you quit doesn't mean you fail. It is okay to quit. And we grew up with this idea that you should never quit anything because if you quit something, you're a failure. Well, poop on them, because that's not true. That is not true. We write our own future, and I think that I've had so many different careers, and I've quit so many different careers, but it's all been a way to find out who I am. And that segues into my third and most important point, and that's knowing that I wrote this way wrong. I'm not going to say that, because if I say that, that's going to sound really bad. Your identity is more than your job. So a lot of the things that I've noticed is that I defined myself as a cancer nurse. And when I stopped being a cancer nurse, I was almost embarrassed to tell people I'm not a cancer nurse anymore, I'm just a photographer. But it's not just a photographer. It's like I'm still impacting people, but in a different way. But you feel like you constantly have to justify the choices you're making because other people are judging you. But what you do doesn't define who you are. So it worked out perfect because I realized I didn't really tell you guys who I am. So I kind of want to tell that to you guys now. And that's going to be my closing point. So I'm Ryan Lindsay. I'm a dreamer. I'm a romantic. I'm a nurse, an educator, a photographer, a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a girlfriend, a friend, sometimes a hot mess. Fair. I'm a woman who loves golf, who loves true crime, who really loves Taylor Swift even more after her documentary. And I'm obsessed with dark chocolate, and I don't care if I can't lose that last 5 pounds because I eat dark chocolate all the time. But what I'm learning is that I'm not defined by my career alone. And when I leave this earth, whenever it is, I want to be known and I want to be remembered. Not by the things I hate, by a job, not by things that I'm afraid of, but I want to be remembered by things that I love and by the people that I love. So with that being said, that's all I have. I get to stay up here for a minute, but it's perfect because in searching for my identity, I had the privilege to confide in someone who really made me understand that it's okay to be different. It's okay to find my own path, and that it's okay to believe in myself. This woman has been a mentor, she's been a friend, she's been an inspiration. She's a former photographer, now she's a community leader, a wife, a mom to the most cutest baby you ever had. He's so cute. She's a speaker, an encourager, and so much more that if I had 20 more minutes, I probably could list everything that this woman has done. Today, I couldn't be more thrilled to announce the co-founder of the Rising Tide Society and the head of community for Honeybrook, Miss Natalie.
Can we give her another round of applause? Wow. So we sold our house. We packed our bags into the back of a Suburban. And we set off on the most epic adventure of all time. About 5 minutes in, my husband's shaking his head at me, telling him I was telling this story. 5 minutes in, we smell it. My son had taken a poop. So, we pull over on the side of the road. We're 5 minutes into this road trip. We haven't even left Severna Park, Maryland. We pull over and I start changing his diaper on the back seat. Well, a frigid gust of wind, a kicking leg, and the next thing I know, a turd is airborne. Flying into the air, this poop goes ricocheting and hits the side of the rental Suburban. Why am I telling you this story? Well, There is going to be something this year that you don't see coming. And I sure hope it's not a poop. But I know that as we step into 2020, we are going to step forward boldly and we are going to dream big. But every once in a while, something's going to happen that we didn't see coming. Something's going to happen that, quite frankly, we wish would never happen again. And in those instances, today, I'm going to be sharing 3 things that you can control. 3 things that this year in 2020, I want you to lean into. Are we ready? All right, let's do it. So, the first thing, and this is probably one of my favorites. This year, you're going to lean into your superpower. You're going to figure out the thing that you uniquely need to do day in and day out in your business. You're going to figure out the thing that lights your soul on fire. I wrote it down, I'm going to read it to you all, that Ryan said, when you are in your zone of confidence, not your zone of comfort, you can light up the world. Finding that thing that lights you up so that you can light up others, you can support your community, you can serve your clients well, that's the thing you lean into. Now, how many of us, when we started our businesses, thought we'd probably spend most of our time doing that thing? Y'all are laughing because you know where I'm going with this one. But then you get into the business, and you find that you probably only spend 20% of your time doing the thing that you love. And the other 80% go to everything else. This is the year that you take charge in your business. This is the year that you take a step forward. You change from being maybe the solopreneur mindset, where you feel like you have to do it all, and you put on your CEO hat. You start to figure out what you can outsource, what you can automate, who you could bring onto your team. Because every hour that you get back in your business to do the thing that you need to be doing enables you to succeed in a way that you couldn't before. Not only does it physically give you more time, but it takes that weight off of your shoulder so that when the poop comes flying, you're not burnt out and exhausted. You can step forward, you can overcome it, because you have support and help and you know how to operate from your genius zone. Are we following? Leaning into that superpower. Now, some of us maybe aren't even sure what that is. One of the best conversations I think I actually had in 2019 in a marketing meeting at Honeybook was talking about how to help business owners understand their unique personality type. Because we talk about personality type all the time from the personal side. Is anyone else an Enneagram fan? Myers-Briggs? Yes. But how often do we take time to really understand our strengths as an entrepreneur or as a small business owner? When I was coming up, I didn't really understand the saying, every architect needs a builder. But the truth is, all of us have a unique personality type. Some of you are visionaries. Some of you are actualizers. Some of you are creatives. Knowing yourself and having self-awareness this year could be a game-changing catalyst for how you operate your business and where you prioritize your time. So, I want to encourage you as you try to figure out your superpower to start by understanding your personality type. I love Enneagram, I love Myers-Briggs, and we actually created a personality test for small business owners. So I will make sure we get that link to all of you so that you can find out what your unique type is. But the bottom line here is knowing yourself and having self-awareness is the key to move forward. Anyone agree with me on that one? Lots of head nods there. All right, number 2, as we head into 2020, you need to define what your definition of success looks like. And to emphasize this, we're all going to close our eyes. Everyone. Yes, Hugh, that includes you. And what I want you to do for just a second is I want you to imagine your perfect day at 70. I want you to think about what that day looks like. Who's there with you? What does it
feel like? Go ahead and open your eyes. Every single one of you in this room thought of something very different when I asked you to close your eyes. And the goals you set this year should ultimately lead you closer and not further to that unique definition of success. Now, I know, Instagram has hashtag goals, and sometimes it can feel like we are chasing after what somebody else wants for their life or for their business. But there is so much power in understanding uniquely what you want out of your life. If when you closed your eyes, you envisioned kids and grandkids running around a yard on a big porch, and you're sitting there looking out at them, then there's a really good chance the hustle you put in today is to build a legacy for their future. That's what I think of when I close my eyes. And in the day-to-day, it can be easy to start to run in different directions, to seek success in areas that don't lead us closer to where we want to be at the end of the day. I think all of us have fallen into that trap once or twice, right? We think we need to chase one metric in particular, or we focus way too much on how many followers and likes we're getting on social media. Maybe, just maybe, we start to lose a little bit of that direction, but not this year. This year, we are leaning in not only to our superpower, but into our unique definition of success. So, I'm going to put somebody on the spot. Who is willing to share with me one example of what success looks like for you? Oh, someone got an arrow pointed towards him. Are you willing to share what does success look like for you?
Success for me is knowing at the end of every coaching conversation I have that I have provided value to that individual, group, or team.
Amazing. So would it be fair to say that success for you is positively impacting and changing someone or a team of people? Clarity. Clarity there is empowerment and understanding that his legacy will be transforming the lives of others. That's incredible. Getting right and getting clear on what your definition of success is, this is the year. So goodbye comparison. So long worrying about what others are chasing after, and yes to what you are chasing after in 2020. My third point. Okay. I've said this now in 2 of 3 meetings, and I know there's somebody that needs to hear this tonight. So if this is for you, it's for you. Play to win. Stop playing not to lose. Play to win. Bet on yourself. This year is not the year to let fear hold you back, to stop you from believing that you truly have a gift to offer. This is not the year that you sit back and you stop taking risks, or that you let whatever you are facing paralyze you from moving forward and doing the thing that you have wanted to do year in and year out. This is the year you bet on yourself. And if you're struggling to bet on yourself, if you're struggling to play to win, if you felt paralyzed, or you've been held back, or you don't know where to turn, look around. This room right here has your back. Just as Ryan said, sometimes we need to be reminded that we can be confident. Just as Todd said, sometimes you need to know that you have people in your corner that have your back, that'll be there to support you. This is the year you bet on you. You understand that you have something incredibly valuable to offer, that you have a gift that you need to share with the world. And I love what you said, because sometimes we get caught up in worrying about ourselves. What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not qualified enough? What if I don't have what it takes? What's the similarity in all of those sentences? Me. The truth is, as creative entrepreneurs, we must love the people we serve more than we love the craft that we do. What you didn't hear in those sentences, those moments of letting you into my own insecurities, was the focus on other people. When you bet on yourself, when you play to win, I hope that that means you understand that you have something you can do to offer to others. You can change their lives. You can make an impact. You can transform them in incredible ways. But only if you have the courage to start. Or only if you have the courage to truly this year play to win. Stop playing not to lose. Stop being afraid of your impact. The work that you do this year could change the trajectory of somebody else's life. The way that you show up for your clients is incredible. I'll share with you one thing that I tell my leaders every single month and in all of these meetings, and it's something that I have a feeling maybe you haven't thought of as well. I told them this today, actually, told them in the hallway, and I said, tonight, you're here to serve one person. There will be one person that walks through these doors, and tonight is the night that they feel seen and heard and loved and appreciated. And for some of us, this might be the only time we truly feel that way this month. Some of you are nodding because maybe you're the person that walked through those doors and you walked in and you saw a name tag with your name on it. And you got a hug from a friend you haven't seen in a while. And for the first time after serving your clients day in and day out, you got served incredible drinks and food and a chance to sit and connect with others. Well, guess what? That's what you do every day for your clients. When they come through your doors, you have a chance. When you bet on yourself and you know what you have to offer them and you are confident in that, you can serve them like no one else can. You can make sure that they feel seen, that they feel heard, that they are appreciated, they are supported, they are served extraordinarily well. One of the things that I love about this community, and I have seen time and time again, is that we put people first. When we say community over competition, we aren't talking about the absence of competition. We are saying, as a community, as entrepreneurs, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. We believe that people come first. They come before the competition. And when we serve our clients, they come first too. And so this year in 2020, I want you to understand your superpower, to lean into that, to leverage that, to take the work off of your plate that you shouldn't be doing, to get back to doing what you love and to serving those incredible people that come through your doors. I want you to define success for yourself, uniquely for you and not for anyone else. And most importantly, play to win. Stop doubting yourself. Stop playing not to lose and know that you have something incredible to offer to impact the lives of your clients when they come through the door. I can't wait for 2020 to be your best year yet. I sure hope there are no flying turds that come your way. And I want you to know that whatever you do walk through, the good and the bad, that Honeybook Rising Tide, we are here to support you. This community has your back. Big things, small things, you name it, we're here. And with that, I'd like you all to actually give yourself a huge round of applause for showing up tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being a part of this event, for the road trip. Without further ado, I'd love to bring Ryan back up. Come on up. Can we give Ryan and all of our leaders come back up as well? If you're a leader or co-leader, can you join me up here on this stage? Come on up. Let's give them another round of applause. We're missing, they're working. They're doing the video. I wanted to take a quick second, just before we move on to some mingling to kind of close out the night, to say thank you to this amazing group right here. Many of you know that our local leaders host meetings every month, often on the second Tuesday of the month. And this is a volunteer role that they raise their hands to take on, because they truly believe in all of you. They love all of you. And so tonight, before we close, I want to take a second to say thank you. Thank you so much for giving your gifts, not just when the spotlight is on you, but in the days when no one knows just how far you go, how hard you work, and how deeply you love every member of this community. This community is what it is because of you, and we are so grateful. Honeybook Rising Tide is so grateful for the work you're doing. So thank you guys so much. I love you all so much. Thank you.
to me, that's a lot. I know you guys have been sitting for a long time, so I want us, if we can, take 5 minutes, go pee, grab cake, grab a cupcake, and if you did not get a chance to post a giveaway, we're doing, and I apologize, I forgot to mention this, if you tag Tuesdays Together Phoenix in the stories, or if you hashtag RTS Roadtrip PHX, that's how we'll be picking the giveaways, and I promise we're going to wean through the winners. So if you take 5 minutes, pee, grab dessert, then we're going to all get together for one group photo. We're going to spit off these giveaways and get you guys